What is going on, Nerd Nation? It's your boy, Chris. We're back again. This is I think our 8th live episode. Sunday nights, 8:30. Average Sports Nerds. Joined, as always, by my guy, Alex Snicks. What's going on, Alex?
What's going on, man? Week 2 in the NFL was great. Great weekend of football. College football is great too, but we're all about the NFL around here. It was great to watch the games today.
Definitely. Some entertaining college games for sure. But, like you said, we're all NFL right now. Week 2. Your team suffered a tough loss today. We'll get into
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
But first, I thought we should start with the 301 League. We did the fantasy draft live a few weeks back now. We can just start with your team today, Alex. How'd you do?
Yeah, I mean, it was a consistent score from last week. Got 108 last week, got 109 this week. I don't have anybody left to play. Jalen Hurts and McCaffrey were the two leaders, with McLaurin playing on Thursday, getting 25, being the leading scorer. So, um, you know, consistency is key in fantasy football, and I'm happy with my team's performance. Luckily, nobody on the other team, on Team Hoadley's team, really went off on me this week. Yeah, so I'm happy with it.
Definitely, yeah. Definitely looks like you're going to pull out the win in that one. As for me, my team went crazy this week. I have 146 points right now. We still got Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the night game tonight and TJ Hawkinson tomorrow. So I actually am barely up right now. Team Bogart did put up a good fight today, but when you get 50.7 in our scoring format from Derrick Henry, we're tough to beat today in that league.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you, Derrick Henry. But yeah, I mean,
It's just tough luck for Bogart, honestly, because nobody else was even close to you guys in the scoring. I was like the third highest scorer in the league right now, or a fourth highest scorer in the league at 109, and I wouldn't have come close to beating either of you guys. So that's just tough luck, really.
yeah, it really is. And it was a low scoring week around the NFL. And,
Yeah,
you know, obviously the correlation fantasies, low scoring week in most places, except for that matchup, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I feel like we should touch on Miles' team. Um, should have mentioned this at the top. Obviously, if you're a fan of the show, you've been watching with us. You know, Miles is usually on here with us. Couldn't make it tonight. Had some other commitments he had to attend to. So we're going to hold it down for him. I'll give the update on his team tonight. Playing against a team called Taysom of D's. He's a Saints fan, so little play on words there. But Miles definitely going to pull out the win. 94.5 to 59 right now. They both got one player left, so good win for Miles in that one. Mike Evans, top scorer, 22 points, but he didn't really score that much, so shout out to him for that one.
yeah.
I
This
know
week
he
was
needed
so
it.
weird with two defenses. The Buccaneers defense getting 19, and then Buffalo's defense having that shutout against the Dolphins, and they had 22 points. Or and if some leagues, if the scoring was weird, like in one of my leagues, they had 47 points. Um, as I know, painfully as I know that. Yeah, those two defenses really came to play today, and um, it's really rare to see two defenses scoring as many points as that. Normally, it's just one defense per week or none at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's like the best thing in fantasy and the worst thing because it's the best when it
Yeah,
happens to you and you get a defense and they, score a couple touchdowns or something like that, pitch a shutout like the Bills did.
right.
But when when you're on the other side of it, man, it's the worst feeling in the world. It's
It really is.
especially when your team outplays them, like the skill players.
Yeah, the guys you were actually trying to draft instead of just getting a random defense. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we can stay on the fantasy tip here. I wanted to just touch on some of the best performances around the league, give some players some credit. Some of these guys may be on your waiver wire in fantasy, might be looking to pick them up. So, started the quarterback. This guy definitely not on the waiver wire. I feel like the MVP through 2 weeks. Kyler Murray. He was 29 for 36 in this one, 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He did have 2 interceptions, but he also had 31 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. They pulled out a 34-33 win over the Vikings.
Some of the plays he made are just unbelievable. Like that one,
Yeah.
that long touchdown to Rondale Moore was just perfect Kyler Murray play that only he can make with how quick he is.
Yeah, 100%. Just the way he escapes the pocket and, like you said, his quickness, I think, is unmatched. He's so little, but like
Yeah.
he's in and out
so
of there
fast.
just
Yeah.
in a blur.
Miles made an interesting point in our group chat earlier. He said that Kyler Murray might just be a better version of Russell Wilson at the end of his career, and I could see it happening if he gets a ring or two. I think he has the talent. He has the arm talent. He's got all the intangibles you need. You know, his teammates trust him. His coaches trust him. He's obviously got the weapons with Hopkins, AJ Green, Max Williams, Chase Edmonds. He's got everything you could possibly want, and everything you need to be an elite, great, all-time great quarterback.
Yeah, definitely. I would say that he's a better runner than Russell Wilson already. Like I
Yeah.
believe that 100%.
Well, I think he's better, better in terms of his speed. But remember, at the beginning of Russ's career, he was getting 70 yards a game, 60 yards a game sometimes. And this was 10 years ago now. So
Yeah.
we do forget that he was elite on his legs.
Yeah, I'll give you that. And especially the team he came in on, he wasn't getting as many opportunities. So
Right. And the league was just different too, where it just wasn't as high scoring as it is today. It's more catered to guys like Kyler Murray.
100%. That's 100%. So definitely good points there. Definitely a good comparison. I want to keep following that, but I want to get your thoughts. Would you agree so far that he's the MVP through 2 weeks?
I mean, it's so hard to say after 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I guess there really isn't anybody else other than maybe Tom Brady, who was dominant in Week 1, dominant again today. We still have to see what Mahomes is going to do tonight in the game against the Ravens right now. But yeah, it's just Week 2, man. That's a hard thing to say.
Yeah, and we got 18 weeks this year, so
Right.
long season ahead of us for sure.
Right.
Yeah, we can talk about Tom Brady too. I would say he's probably the other one that's up there right now, just off the first 2 weeks. 24 for 36, 276 yards, 5 touchdowns through the air today, and a 48-25 win over the Falcons. This game got close for a second there.
Yeah.
I would say that. It did
Falcons
get
made it a little
close.
interesting.
Yeah, but the Bucs obviously too much. The Falcons, they're not looking good this year.
No, yeah, the Falcons might be a bottom 5 team in the league to get a top 5 draft pick. When the Falcons were getting close, the Bucs defense ended up just turning it on, getting 2 pick sixes in back-to-back possessions, which just ended the game. Just from there, you knew it was over.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say this: the offensive line looks very bad for the Falcons, but Matt Ryan doesn't look very good either right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the last quarterback performance right now, Daniel Jones, 22 for 32, 249 yards through the air, touchdown, 9 carries for 95 rushing yards, and another touchdown on the ground in a 30-29 loss against the Washington football team. Obviously, my Washington football team. We'll talk about that game a little bit more in a second, but I just want to talk about Daniel Jones for a second because I personally have never really been a believer in him. So I just want to get your thoughts. Do you think Daniel Jones can continue performances like this and continue to look at least decent?
No, I don't. I don't think it's going to be a consistent thing at all. Look, I know Washington's defense is good. The front seven is very stout. It's one of the best in the league, no doubt. They had a number 2 defense last season.
We'll talk about that.
In that game, like you said, we'll talk about it. But in that game, they didn't really look like they were a top 5, top 10 defense. But no, I don't think Daniel Jones is no. I mean, the Giants did have opportunity after opportunity to win that game, and he is a lot faster than he looks. He just runs fast. He takes very long strides when he runs, and he's moving. It doesn't look like he's going that fast, but he actually is, as defenders have come to find out. So his legs are always great for fantasy wise, but I don't think he's going to be able to perform at a high level, even though they have spent a lot of money at the wide receiver position and a lot of draft capital at the wide receiver position. They I don't trust them at all. I don't think they're going to be good. Their offensive line isn't good. Once they start consistently playing better defenses and teams that have game planned around what the Giants do, they're going to be 6-11 again.
Yeah, 6-11 I think would be good for them at this point. I don't see them winning that many games. Like I said, I've never really been a believer in Daniel Jones, but
yeah,
I don't know. I think I will say it though, and I always don't like going there, but I do feel like they just underestimate him sometimes because he's white. I think sometimes like they're like, oh, he's not gonna run it, and then he runs it, and he kind of surprises some people. So I feel like, I don't know. They kept running the same read option, and
yeah. Well, I mean now teams know.
My team is just not the smartest team in the world. And we'll get to that.
Now teams know that he's going to be using his legs a lot more often, I think, and
I mean that's all he can do because
game planning around it.
He can't really pass that well.
He did have opportunities where he could have iced the game with a better throw, and he missed them. I mean, 24 for 36 isn't bad at all, by any means. What's it, 66% completion percentage, which is the average for the NFL. But I still don't trust him at all.
Yeah. Guess we can leave it there on that. Move on to the running backs that had a good week this week. Got to start with Derrick Henry.
King Henry,
over 2,000 yards last year. First game was a little subpar.
He's going to hit that again.
Standards, but
he's going to hit 2,000 yards again.
35 carries for the big man, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns, 6 receptions, 55 yards through the air. Derrick Henry not known for his pass catching ability, but in this one, he did it all. They pulled out a 33-30 win. I feel like mainly because of him, he just took over in the second half. We'll talk about that game more, but they were down pretty big at halftime, and he took over. Player of the week, in my opinion. Obviously, he killed it for my one fantasy team. Killed me in another. So
killed me in another too. Yeah.
Yeah. King Henry.
Yeah, I mean, he got like you said, he got most of his yards in the second half. He only had around 50 in the first, and he had over 130 in the second. I mean, that's unbelievable. And for a team to still stick to the run when they're losing in the second half, you love to see it. And it's been thought that you can't do that if you're losing because you need the clock. Well, the Titans have shown for the past 2 years now, including this one, that you can do it on the ground. Like, you don't have to only throw the ball if you're behind. If you have a dominant running back and Derrick Henry and offensive line who was getting destroyed in pass protection, but they were dominating when they were running the ball, which doesn't make much sense to me. But anyway, when you have a guy who's 240 pounds looking like a linebacker running the ball as fast as he does, it makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. He just, like I said, he just took over and opened it up for everybody else.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't think they were going to pull that one out. They looked very bad in the first half. So, crazy game for sure. But second on the list, a surprise name here. Might be out there on your waiver wire in some leagues. I want to get your thoughts on him from a fantasy perspective. But Tony Pollard, 13 carries, 109 yards and a touchdown. 3 catches for 31 yards. Ezekiel Elliott didn't have a terrible game. I have him in one league. He was solid, but Tony Pollard, when he was in there, he just looked like he had the juice. Like,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on him?
Well, I think he's more. I think he's better running back right now than Zeke is. I don't. I just think Zeke is not the same. I don't know what happened to Zeke. He seems to have lost that burst that he had when he first came in the league, when he was on that rookie contract. Then he gets paid and he just doesn't have that burst anymore. And watching Tony Pollard run, he has that burst, he has that quickness that Zeke is lacking right now. I mean, Zeke is he's still a solid running back, but he just doesn't have that speed that he used to have when he first came into the league. And as far as fantasy wise for Pollard, I mean, as long as Zeke is a starting running back and he's going to get the majority of the touches, I mean, yeah, pick him up if he's available, 100%. But
Definitely.
playing him is another thing because I just don't know how many touches he's going to get on a weekly basis.
Yeah, because I want to pull up this game here and see how many touches Zeke got. Yeah, see, Zeke 16 carries, and he also had 2 catches, 2 targets. So he only had 2 more touches than Pollard in this game. It was a close game down to the finish. So
Yeah, so I mean, if they're splitting time in the backfield, which is what that entails, if they're splitting touches, then he might be, a flex starter. If you're in a two flex league, like I know I'm in a two flex league, he might be able to fit in there based on their matchup.
yeah, 100%. I was actually very surprised when I looked up the carries. I thought Zeke was going to be like in the 20s or something, but no. But yeah, big game
I
for
mean,
Pollard.
16 carries for 71 yards is not bad either. I mean, it's a solid day. Um, I'm not sure what that average is exactly, but 13 on 109 for Pollard is obviously much better.
Yeah, and like you said, he just looks like he's just the better running back right now, and
Yeah.
it's painful to say, really, for me, just having drafted him in one fantasy league, Ezekiel Elliott, that is, it's tough to see because, like you said, I do think he's still a solid running back, but at some point, if we see it, I feel like the team will see it, and he'll start playing more and more. He
Yeah.
has to. He looked good last year as well. But yeah, the last running back, got to talk about him. I don't think he'll ever be outside the top 3. So every week that we do this, pencil his name in here at the running back position. Christian McCaffrey, 24 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. 5 for 65 through the air in a 26-7 win over the Saints, moving the Panthers to 2-0. What are your thoughts on McCaffrey and the Panthers? Are they for real?
Well, Sam Darnold is there, and people were trying to tell me that Sam Darnold was a bad quarterback, and I was like, no, he's not. He's on a bad team with a bad coach and a bad system. And
Yeah, we
I
don't
mean,
know if he's not. He
right.
could be a bad
I don't.
quarterback, but
Yeah. Personally, I never thought he was bad. Having watched him play, I thought he was always a solid quarterback who's never had a chance to properly develop. And I think he's having that chance now, with Matt Rule at the head coach. Yeah, running the offense. Obviously around McCaffrey, always going to have 70 plus yards, 50 plus receiving, or on the ground, 50 plus receiving yards every single time. It's a guarantee. If he gets a touchdown or two in there, then that's a 30-point fantasy day, and he's always going to get at least 20 points most likely. It doesn't matter what your format is, he's going to get 20 points fantasy wise, which is why he's the consensus number 1 pick, especially in a PPR or half PPR format. So. Yeah, I mean the Panthers look good. I mean, I know they haven't really played anybody good. They beat the Jets last week, and now the Saints, the Saints
they looked good last
they killed Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, but I would say that's just a week 1 fluke for the Packers, more so than for the Saints. So yeah, Panthers are exciting. I think they could possibly compete for a wild card. I don't know if they'll make the wild card because of that NFC West and those teams over there, but they could definitely compete for one.
yeah, I thought you were gonna say for a second they could compete for the division.
Oh no.
And
Oh no.
yeah, damn.
No.
I'm not with that either. But yeah, I think they could compete for a wild card. They look pretty good today for sure. The defense looked very good. Jameis Winston, 2 picks today, wasn't a good day for him. So
Back to normal Jameis.
yeah, we'll see. We got 1 good game, 1 bad game. So roll the dice. We'll see how it goes week 3 for him.
For sure.
But yeah, we can move on to the receiver position. Right now, the number one receiver on the week, Cooper Kupp, 9 catches, 163 yards, 2
Yeah.
touchdowns.
Played against them in 2 leagues today. It was, oh, yeah. Go
Yeah,
on.
he was big. He hurt me in the league. He hurt the Colts today too for sure. 27-24 win over the Colts for Matt Stafford and Sean McVay and the Rams. Obviously, we know Cooper Kupp. He's rostered in your league. We know he's good. He's having breakfast with oh man, Matt Stafford. Sorry, he's having breakfast with Matt Stafford every day apparently, and they look like best buddies on the field right now.
Yeah, I mean, Cooper Kupp for me has always been the better of the bunch of the receivers. He's just always seems to be wide open every time he's throwing the ball. He's always just wide
He's
open.
a great route runner.
I don't know if that's the scheme or if
That
that's
too.
that if it's Cooper Kupp being a great route runner, like you said, or whatever. He's just always wide open. Um, so yeah, give credit to McVay for coming up with those schemes. And yeah, the Rams, that offense looks legit after 2 games.
Yeah, 100%. It's kind of one of those things. Like after the first 2 weeks, I'm kicking myself because I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. Like I believed in this team with Matthew Stafford, but I didn't invest in them in fantasy drafts with that same belief. So I don't really like. I only have Darrell Henderson in a bunch of leagues, but wish I had some of those pass catching options at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I invested in Tyler Higbee in I think 2 out of my 3 leagues, and he has not done anything so far. So
Yeah, I guess
he had
yeah, that's a good point.
yeah. So hopefully he turns that around for me. But I mean, obviously they don't really need him to if they're gonna play like this. Over 2 games, he has 7 targets, 6 catches for 76 yards. I mean, that's just not gonna it's not gonna do it for fantasy wise anyway. But
Yeah,
you know, he's there. He's a good, I guess, good fourth option for the team. So
yeah. I was gonna say I feel like he'll definitely have some games. He's a tough player this week because usually you're not gonna roster 2 like mediocre tight ends.
right.
So he's a tough guy to evaluate right
Look,
now.
I honestly, I'm gonna keep him in there, no matter what. I think I'm just gonna keep him as my starting tight end. Doesn't matter who he plays against, unless I mean I have Zach Ertz in one league on the bench. If Goddard goes down, then I'll put Zach Ertz in there. But I'm just gonna stay. I'm gonna stick with Tyler Higbee for now, and I trust that offense. He's gonna get his targets and some touchdowns. So
Yeah, definitely got to see at least another week or two.
yeah,
But yeah, we can talk about Tyler Lockett. He's second right now in fantasy points on the week. 8 catches, 178 yards, and a touchdown in a 33-30 loss to the Titans, like we mentioned earlier. He was getting wide open behind the defense. There was one
beautiful
that,
throws by Russ.
yeah, that, and also there was one that this guy Swain caught. I was I was watching the game and
You
I
thought
got
it was
super
Tyler Lockett?
excited.
Yeah.
Thought it was Lockett for another
Yeah.
long touchdown, but
Yeah,
Russell Wilson was slinging it. Tyler Lockett was usually on the other end of it.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's not really much to say about Tyler Lockett. Like same deal with Cooper Kupp. He's
Just always consistent.
a consistent receiver. You're playing him.
Right.
He's good. We all know it. But shout out to him on a big game. But this next guy, Rondell Moore today, 7 catches, 114 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah,
And
who was that? Like he just
Yeah.
came out of nowhere.
Wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, if you're not
Yeah.
familiar with him. I believe he was a second round pick this year in the draft. He's got some speed to him for sure. He got loose today. Apparently, and he broke behind the defense for a nice long touchdown on one. Yeah, what are your thoughts? Are you picking this guy up next week, or
No.
you just a one
No,
hit
I mean,
wonder?
look, I mean, I think there's too many options on the Cardinals. I don't think this will be a consistent thing. You know, you've got D Hop, you've got Christian Kirk, you've got AJ Green now. You got Max Williams, the tight end, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, and now this guy. I mean, Chase Edmonds as well in the running back or in the backfield. So there's just so many options on the Cardinals offense. I mean, he could be a potential, stash guy on your bench if you have extra bench spots. You don't like your receivers on your bench, but as far as picking him up and playing him, no, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Super deep leagues only for me. I mean,
Right,
like you said, if you got a spot on your bench, maybe take a flyer on him. But
right.
yeah, good game though for the Cardinals for sure.
That was a great game to watch. It was very entertaining.
Yeah, I'd probably say that was best game of the week. But we can move on to the tight end position. Number 1 tight end on the week, Rob Gronkowski.
The number 1 tight end in NFL history. I mean, of course.
Good old Gronk.
Yeah.
Only 4 catches, 39 yards, but 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Falcons defense is just a mess. They're a mess. We saw that last week with the Eagles tearing them up, who couldn't do anything today, which we'll talk about. But the Falcons defense is a mess. I feel bad for guys like Deion Jones because he's still a stud, but when the rest of your defense doesn't know what they're doing and doesn't cover the best tight end in the league or the best tight end in history, then like, what are you doing?
Right, yeah, like, and he got him early, and then also Mike Evans got 2 in this one.
Huge day, yeah.
Number 1 receiver on the team, so just first read was there for Brady today, and it all worked good for the offense there. But the second tight end on this list, surprise, you mentioned him a little bit earlier, Max Williams for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
7 catches for 94 yards. Any interest there?
I mean, look, tight ends are hard. Tight end points are very hard to come by, other than like the top 3, right? With Kittle, Kelsey, and Waller. Other than those guys, there's nobody else who's like always consistent in getting you points. Like
it's touchdown or bust usually
for most tight ends, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even look at Gronk. If he didn't have those 2 touchdowns, he didn't do anything today. But he had 2 touchdowns. So yeah, I mean, yeah. If you need a tight end, why not take a chance on him? I don't know who they're playing next week. The Cardinals, that is. Actually, no, they're playing Jacksonville next week. So why not take a chance on him? If you need a tight end, hey, I might pick him up in the league. I have Tyler Higbee. Take a chance on him.
Throw him in a little DFS lineup or something.
Yeah, right. He'd be a cheap option there too, for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely good game for him.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a journeyman, so I'm always glad to see those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I've always liked Max Williams. I'm not sure why he hasn't been able to stick in certain spots, but I've always thought he was a solid tight end.
Yeah, I mean, looked like it today for sure.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, last guy on the tight end list for us, Noah Fant, 4 for 33 and a touchdown. Like you said, it's tough sledding for the tight ends if that's the 3rd best performance right now. But
yeah,
hey, Noah Fant, you think he could have a breakout year this year? Or it's just
maybe. I mean, he has the talent. I think. If anybody were to have a breakout year, I'd say it would be Kyle Pitts. But with the way that offense is looking, that's not looking likely. Yeah, he could. I mean, the Broncos are 2-0, but they've played 2 of the worst teams in the league. So take that as you will.
I think they got another easy matchup this next week as well.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with them for sure. I like Noah Fant. I think he's good talent. He just takes some time at the tight end position,
I think he ran a 4.3.
Yeah.
The combine coming out last year.
Yeah, he was a first-round pick, so.
Yeah, he's got potential, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, from there we can get into some of these matchups, break down what we saw a little bit today. It was cool, actually, for the listeners out there. I actually went to Alex's place today and we watched the games together, so it was fun, especially for me watching this one game. The San Francisco 49ers came to Philadelphia all the way across the country.
Playing at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. for them. Yep.
Yep, and they defeated the Eagles 17-11. It's actually a very close game. I will give you guys some credit. I feel
Yeah.
like you guys played pretty well or pretty good. I don't know what the right terminology is there, but you guys played pretty decent,
Yeah.
and I I didn't give you guys enough credit. You guys will be a team to compete with in the NFC least this season.
Yeah. I'd say so after watching that Thursday night game. Um, yeah, no, I mean, look, the Eagles, they should have been up 14-0 at the beginning. They had opportunities to go up. They had an unfortunate play when Jalen Reagor stepped out of bounds on a 30-yard touchdown. Um, it's just unfortunate things like that. I mean, give credit to the cornerback for using that as leverage and playing it how you're supposed to play it on out there. But yeah, things are going well. The Eagles get a stop on 4th and goal. Um, or no, I'm sorry. They get pinned deep by a punt, and then they have a 91-yard pass that doesn't end up being a touchdown, and then they get stopped on 4th and goal. And after that, the momentum just switched, and they lost Brandon Graham on the next drive to a year-ending injury, his first in his career, which is huge. He's the heart of that defense, heart and soul of the team, really. And then they give up a 12-play, 97-yard drive to end the half after really dominating the whole first half. And they had chances to score. They didn't. They have a new young head coach, a new young quarterback, young weapons. Look, I mean, these games are going to happen when you have young, inexperienced players and coaches and coaching staff. And for teams like the 49ers, you're going to have these games where you just grind it out and do all the things necessary to win and take advantage of the opportunities given to you. And that's exactly what they did. The Eagles defense played very well, stopping the run in the middle. Kyle Shanahan figured out that that toss plays to either side were working, so they just constantly stuck with that to get the run game going, which opened things up for Jimmy Garoppolo. And the offense didn't look great by any means. San Francisco's offense didn't look great at all. But their defense did enough to stop Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni's game plan, which I didn't really like. I didn't really like the plays that they were calling. But yeah, man, I'm not upset at that loss at all. I mean, it's a very good team. The 49ers might compete for the NFC, might compete for to go to the Super Bowl. So I'm not upset at that at all. I like the way the Eagles were competing out there. So these things happen. I still think we can turn around and win the division.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I told you at halftime you guys have been dominating the game.
Yeah.
Should have been up, I thought, at least 14 points going into that last drive where Jimmy Garoppolo and the 49ers went down the field, scored a touchdown to go up 7-3. And I thought that was huge, just the fact that I thought you guys played so well, and to still be down is just demoralizing at that point.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So, like I said, tough game all the way through. Like you said, you guys had a lot of chances, but I will say, yeah, this is gonna be a good race for the division. You guys, offensive and defensive lines have been impressive.
Fantastic. Yeah. Fantastic. Yep.
But yeah, we can leave it at that, I guess, for now, unless you had anything else on your squad there.
No, I mean, I was worried about the run defense. They did a great job overall until they started the sweeps, which, I mean, the 49ers are the best team in the league at figuring out. Kyle Shanahan, I should say, is the best in the league at figuring out where to attack a defense if one thing isn't working. And that's exactly what he did with those sweeps and the toss plays to either side. And they were working. Exploited the Eagles' weakest position in linebackers. The Eagles linebackers are okay. They're probably below average. And whenever you get a toss play, you're really asking a lot of the linebackers to step up because you're not, the defensive line can only do so much on toss plays. So yeah, man, it was like I said, I'm not too upset about it. I'm excited. I'm so excited for next week, next Monday night, going into Dallas. That's going to be electric. I'm hoping it's gonna be a great game. So yeah. All the teams, the three teams that are probably going to compete for the division are 1-1. It's great.
It's only right, yeah, definitely. None of us are good enough, I'd say, to be 2-0. I don't know. The Cowboys look kind of good today.
Eh.
We can go to that one, or we can go to my team. Yeah, let's go to my team. We'll go into the Washington football team Thursday night. I gotta throw it back. Thursday night. I'm sure you guys seen by now, but we defeated the New York Giants 30-29 at home. I'll start by saying first off,
go ahead.
The guy who jumped off sides for the Giants, like, thank you very much. We'll take it. I knew for a fact that Dustin Hopkins was going to miss that kick. Dustin Hopkins is not a good kicker, and I will be on record with that. And it might not even be his fault because I've seen plenty of kickers, i.e. Graham Gano, who is now one of the best kickers in the league, leave our team and become very successful. But as far as it goes here, Dustin Hopkins doesn't make big kicks. He missed the kick, but Dexter Lawrence jumped offside, so we appreciate it. Didn't deserve to win the game. Personally, we had the game, and then we threw the game away, and then we won it at the end. It was a wild one. Not Daniel Jones. I'm sorry. Taylor Heineke threw a pick when we had the lead. With about 4 minutes,
honestly forgot about that.
Inside the 30-yard line, which then gave the Giants the lead. They got a field goal. And then from there, that's when Taylor Heineke drove back down the field again. Got us into field goal range. We got the game-winning kick. But outside of that interception, I thought Taylor Heineke looked really good, honestly. But, with the pick, I say he had a decent game. I like his moxie. Came back down the field.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was impressive.
Look, I think the defense is going to come together because something's got to give here. We got good players on the defense, but the results right now have been horrific. Daniel Jones was running all over us, like we mentioned a little bit earlier. Slayton and Daniel Jones, like Darius Slayton. Sorry, Miles. I know that's your boy. But Darius Slayton was wide open. Daniel Jones put it out. It might have been a little too far. I thought he probably could have brought it in. But either way, he was wide open just running down the field for a touchdown that probably would have sealed the game. Like I said, I think our defense are good players. I think it'll come together. And I think it's a 3-team race because the Giants are pretty bad.
This past year, when
the Giants are bad. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, honestly, Washington didn't look any better. I'm not going to lie to you. They didn't look any better in that game. The Giants should have won. There was a hold on a Daniel Jones touchdown run, long Daniel Jones touchdown run, that should not have been called. I don't understand where the hold was. It was on a receiver. But if you looking back at it, there was no hold at all.
I thought it was a good call.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and like I said, yeah, there are other plays. Darius Slayton dropped a touchdown that would have sealed it for sure. After having a touchdown earlier in the game, he looked very good. But the Giants, it doesn't make any sense to me. You pay Kenny Golladay all this money, and you draft a receiver in the first round, and you're not. And your best 2 receivers are the guys who were already there on rookie deals. So I don't understand the point of getting a Kenny Golladay. And what's the rookie's name? Kadarius Toney or something like that. I don't even know what his name is.
You have more receiving yards than him right now.
I don't even know what his role is, if he even has a role.
2 catches for -2 yards.
Wow. Okay.
Hey, we're more productive than an NFL wide receiver. First round pick.
Yeah. So look, I don't know what the Giants are doing. The Washington they don't look very good either. I hate to say it, I think it's a 2-team race between Philly and Dallas right now. That's only because of Taylor Heineke. I don't trust him. I don't think he's gonna do what he did again against a good defense. Against a quality the Giants defense is not good at all. I mean, they let Teddy Bridgewater just do whatever they want. last week. Jerry Jeudy was cutting them up before he went down last week. So the Giants' defense is not good. Washington, their offense isn't good. Their defense is good, but their offense is not. So I just don't trust them, man. I don't trust either of those teams. They both of those teams look like they were going to be 6-11 at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like I said,
Based on that game.
I feel like defense for us is going to come together. And look, I like what I see out of Taylor Heinicke out there. I think if this defense plays decent, or at least up to somewhere near their potential, I think they can definitely win.
I mean, they were the number 2 defense in the league last year, right? Which matters. But if your offense can't score, right? It doesn't look like it. That doesn't look like where they are now. And if your offense can't score, it's not going to matter at all. So
hey, we put up 30
against one of the worst teams in the league. So look, take it as you will. Watch what happens next week when Buffalo comes into town. All right, then we'll really know how Taylor Heinicke is.
We're going up to Buffalo.
Oh, okay. Well, that's even worse. Good luck with that.
It's a good test for us, for sure. I'm not scared of the Bills.
You think the Niners were a test for the Eagles? Just wait. Just watch.
I'm not scared of the Bills. I don't want to go with my hot takes right now. We can move on to the Cowboys. They beat the Chargers, much to my chagrin.
The Chargers threw it away, man.
56-yard game-winning field goal by Greg the Leg.
Greg the Leg. Yep.
Zerline.
Man.
What were your thoughts on that game, man?
The Chargers' penalties on offense ruined them. They had multiple chances to score. I think they had 2 touchdowns called back because of penalties, and especially on that drive where they tied the game at 17. They could have gone up 21-17, but they just couldn't. Or they did, but they made mistakes, and it just didn't work out in that way. So yeah, I mean, I guess give credit to Dallas. It was a good gritty win. Every team needs those grinded out wins, those ugly grinded out wins, and that was one of them for Dallas. So good for them. But it's Dallas week in Philly now. On to Dallas. Jalen Hurts is going to come in there and outperform Dak Prescott on Monday Night Football in front of the whole country. So just look out. Look out.
So we are going to the hot take section. Hey, look, man. Honestly, I think it could happen. Cowboys defense isn't the greatest. They actually.
I mean, look, holding
the Chargers to 17.
Yeah, so. holding the Chargers to 17 is no easy task at all by any means. So good for them, I guess. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we shall see. I mean, either way, it's not that bad for the Washington football team. One of you guys has to lose. One of you guys has to win. So.
Yeah, man, that game next week is so big for the outlook of the season. As long as it's not a draw, I'll be, that would be the worst. But, being 2-1, the difference between 2-1 and 1-2 is so big. I know it's only like a game difference, but it feels like it's a massive hurdle to go from 2-1 over instead of 1-2.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like anytime you're below 500, that hurdle of just like winning a game to get back to 500 and then having to win again to stay above 500
right.
is just
it's so big.
It's tough.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we can move off of the NFC East for a little bit. Talk about some other games around the league here. Starting with that Cardinals-Vikings game, 34-33 win for the Cardinals. I know the Vikings missed the game-winning field goal as time expired. That was probably the game of the day. That was crazy, back and forth, high scoring. Usually everything that a fan would love to see. But what were your thoughts on that one?
Oh, man. Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Kyler Murray. Kirk Cousins looked really well, or looked really good. I'm not gonna lie, he did. He looked like he played well. But Kyler Murray, man, that's it. She's so good.
Yeah, we can just leave it there for real.
Yeah. I mean, shout out to Gus Johnson too on the call. Gus Johnson calling NFL games again is great. You know, his enthusiasm is, you know, the best in the business, I think. So yeah, it was a great call when watching the Vikings, or hearing him call it when the Vikings missed that field goal at the end.
Along with Aqib Talib. Well,
Yeah,
we'll say
yeah, QT was, yeah,
he was very entertaining for me.
yeah, he was, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, moving over to the Titans, they pulled out an overtime win over the Seahawks, 33-30. Mentioned it a little bit before with Derrick Henry's big game in the second half. Titans were down 24-9 at halftime. Made the comeback in Seattle. I know the Titans didn't look good the first week, but what are your thoughts on like them moving forward? Do you think this is a playoff team?
I think they'll compete for the AFC South, if not win it. I mean, the Colts are now 0-2 to start. I mean, the Colts had a rough schedule to start with the Seahawks and the Rams coming into town, two of the best teams in the league. So with that, I mean, the Titans have a leg up on them being 1-1. Yeah, I think they'll compete for the division, if not win it. As far as anything past that, do I think they're going to be able to beat, the Chiefs? No. No one's going to beat them in the AFC, I don't think. Again. So, yeah, I mean, the Titans, the offensive line, like Derrick Henry just looked dominant again. He's on his way to another 2,000-yard season, especially with an extra game in there. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. He might even break the record, which should be different now. Like, I feel like they should, like, I don't know. With all these, with an added game, like an 1,000-yard season isn't as impressive as it used to be, So we'll see. But
yeah, I mean, because you even got O.J. Simpson, who shouldn't name, but 14 games he ran for 2,000. So
exactly.
Yeah, like you said, there should be some different records.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can move on here. Didn't realize the time that we're at here. Been going for a little while here, so we can kind of zoom through some of these. The Rams beat the Colts 27-24. Raiders beat the Steelers 26-17.
Big game. Big win there for them. Big win.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about that one for a second. Do you believe in the Raiders? 2-0 beat the Ravens and the Steelers to start the season.
Maybe for a wild card in the AFC. I mean, the AFC. I feel like the AFC is a little weaker than we're accustomed to this year. I mean, they're not going to beat the Chiefs in the West, in the AFC West. Yeah. I don't think they're better than the Chargers. Even though they have a better record, and
I feel like they could compete with the Chargers.
They could compete with them, but I would pick the Chargers to win and have a better record at the end of the year than the Raiders. But look. Maybe we got to start giving the Raiders a little bit more respect. No, they're 2-0. They beat one of the better teams in the league.
I won't do it. I don't care. They did this last year. They started off really great. I think they were like 6-2, and then
something like that.
I think they went 2-6 the last whatever games, and they
they lost to the Jets, who hadn't won a game yet.
Oh no! They beat the Jets though. They got the last second touchdown.
That's right.
I think the Jets lost that one on purpose. After they had just won the week before, lost out on the number 1 pick. But anyway, yeah, I just don't trust. I don't trust him. I don't believe in John Gruden anymore, man. Listen, he hasn't proven it to me again.
We'll see.
He was gone for too long.
Yeah, we'll see for sure.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, around the league, we got the Panthers beating the Saints 26-7. It was a little surprising. The Bears beat the Bengals. Yeah, thank you. Just changed it on the doc for me.
Oops.
That was clutch. But yeah, Bears beat the Bengals 20-17. Justin Fields had to step in for Andy Dalton in this one. Dalton went out with a knee injury, so we'll see.
Justin Fields time.
Yeah, any excitement for Justin Fields? You think he's gonna have?
I don't know.
A good year.
I mean, it's hard to tell. I don't know for sure. We'll see. I I think he can be better than Andy Dalton. And Allen Robinson, I hope, for my fantasy team, one of my fantasy teams will be better. So, yeah, I think Fields gives the Bears the best chance at competing and winning games. And I don't think there's any debate.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I felt he should have been starting from the beginning.
Yeah, from the get-go. I mean, he looked better in the preseason. It was Andy Dalton's team to lose. Whatever the coach said, I don't care about all that. Just you drafted him number 10 for a reason, or number 15, whatever it was. Just let him play.
11. But yeah,
11. Yeah.
I don't get that though. Like, it's not like Andy Dalton was the guy there. Like, he was the guy in Cincinnati, and he didn't get it done there.
Right, and then in Dallas last year where he didn't look good at all.
Yeah, and then
I don't understand.
I mean, look, yeah, I get it. They promised him that he could be the starter, but opportunity came, and we got a better quarterback. So it's the business, man.
I mean, his numbers weren't that great. He threw a pick. His completion percentage, I think, was like 6 for 10 or something like that. But not that,
Up here.
not that good, not that bad either. So
Yeah, 6 for 13, 60 yards and a pick. 10
not that
carries
good.
for 31 yards, so that's not even that great of like a
if he, if he starts practicing with the ones this week, they make a game plan around him. It should be better. I don't know. I'm not sure who they're playing next week, but they should have a better offensive performance with him in there, based on that. If he is there.
Yeah, definitely. And I will say, I mean, at least he didn't lose the game. Like, they still won the game, so
Yeah, they're playing the Browns next week too. So
it's a tough
that's a
one.
tough matchup. Yeah.
It's a tough one. We'll see what he's made of, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess from there, the Bucks beat the Falcons 48-25. That's expected. The Browns beat the Texans 31-21, as we expected. Tyrod Taylor did leave with the hamstring injury, so that rookie Davis Mills, I think his name was in the game from Stanford. So we'll see what happens there with that.
Yeah.
Bills shut out the Dolphins 35-0. Tua did leave the game with the injury. I think that was in like the second quarter. They were down 14-0 or 7-0 at that point. So it was still in reach at that point, but Tua went out. Bills, got to give them credit. They did what they're supposed to do. Took care of business.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Tua, man. I hope he can stay healthy. I know that was the concern for him coming out of college. So we'll see. I did want to talk about this guy for a second, rookie quarterback, Zach Wilson. His team lost 25-6 today to the Patriots. He had 4 interceptions in the first half. You got any thoughts on him right now?
No, I mean, I saw a quote from Robert Saleh, the Jets head coach, and he said he just needs to learn to play boring sometimes. He wants to win so bad, something like that, that he just needs to calm down, take the check downs, just play boring, not try and be a hero with every play. And that's something that every quarterback needs to learn. And some veteran quarterbacks are still trying to learn that, like Carson Wentz.
Especially and when you're talented like that, you always think you can make that play.
Exactly.
So
Everybody's, he's trying to be Mahomes, but look, Mahomes is Mahomes. One of one, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. I think we just got to give him more time. Honestly, I didn't know if he was ready to be starting week 1 anyways with no veteran plan or anything like that. So
yeah.
We'll see how it goes for the Jets, especially on a bad team. It's a rough situation for him right now.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm definitely not giving up on him. I still see potential. But yeah, last game around the league so far, Broncos beat the Jaguars 23-13. Really nothing to see there.
Nothing.
But yeah, I mean, was there anything else around the league this week that you wanted to hit on?
No, man. It's just a fun week of football. Again, it's just still so great to have the NFL back again.
Definitely. It's great. Like you said, it's only week 2. We got a long season, and I got to get an updated hat. I know if you're watching us on YouTube, yeah, I know. I got to get an updated hat, guys. Don't worry. But Washington football team is in first place after 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
Based on some tiebreakers.
Oh,
so I'll
my
take it. You know,
gracious.
if it feels better than being in last. So.
What type? Oh, the division record tiebreaker.
Yes, sir. We are 1-0 in the division right now.
My goodness.
Glorious victory over the New York Football Giants. But yeah, I mean, from there, I'm saying I mean too much, but I did want to get to some soccer. I know you wanted to talk about it last week. We haven't talked about it in a little while.
Yeah.
So give us the rundown. What's going on in the football?
Yeah, no, I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo, everybody knows, back to Manchester United. One of the biggest moves. This transfer window has been, or was, crazy. If everybody doesn't know a transfer window, you only have a couple months in the summer to move teams, for guys to move teams, for teams to make trades or transfers is what they're called. So anyway, Messi moved, Ronaldo moved, Romelu Lukaku went back to Chelsea. Just a bunch of crazy big signings. It was unbelievable. Ronaldo, like I said, went back to United, made his debut last weekend. He scored twice. He scored again today, this weekend. He scored in the Champions League for United. So 3 games for Ronaldo back in United's colors, 4 goals so far. He's helping lead Manchester United to a 3-way tie in the Premier League with Chelsea and Liverpool, who also look just fantastic. Paul Pogba is playing great for United. United has the talent. They always have. They've had the money to get these players. They just haven't been able to put everything together, and they're finally starting to do it again. And as a Chelsea fan, I was always, against United being successful, but I do think it's better for the soccer world if they are successful, just like if the Lakers are good for the NBA or, whatever team in the NFL that is just better for the league.
I thought you were going to say Cowboys.
I'm not going to say the Cowboys. Absolutely not saying the Cowboys for that. No.
Keep them down.
No, keep them all the way down. No, yeah, but back to Chelsea. I mean, ever since Thomas Tuchel took over as manager, they've been the best team in Europe, no doubt about it. They haven't given up any goals really. They won today against Tottenham. They won 3-0 against Tottenham has some of the most talent in the world as far as talent goes, but they've never been able to put it together. Romelu Lukaku, like I said, transferred back. He was at Chelsea as a young kid. He was like 21 when Chelsea signed him. He just couldn't put it together to be successful there. They sold him. He transferred a couple other times. Now he's in his prime, and he is an absolute beast. He scored 3 goals in 4 games so far. Fantastic signing to get him back. Liverpool is healthy again. They had a ridiculous amount of injuries, kind of like the 49ers did in the NFL last year. Liverpool's back. They got Virgil van Dijk, the best defender in the world, back and healthy. Mohamed Salah, best right winger in the world other than Messi. So, yeah, man, it's a 3-way tie. Like I said, it's going to be a great run for the Premier League title this year. And then the Champions League, of course, is going to be even better with Messi trying to propel PSG up into the Champions League title game with Mbappe and Neymar, which those 3 in attacking on FIFA, it would be unbelievable to stop. But FIFA, the video game is not real life. Soccer is a lot harder than people realize. And especially if you have a good team with a good game plan and a good defense, it's really hard to break some defenses down. So, it's 100%. It's great. It's great to have competitive soccer again and to be able to watch Cristiano Ronaldo every week. You can't do that with Messi because we don't get the French league over here unless you pay extra. But to have Ronaldo play on the NBC Sports family of networks every week, it's fantastic. It really is. Definitely.
I've peeked at a couple games here and there. I'm not going to say I sat down and watched full games or anything like that, but it is cool to see him running around out there, actually on the TV. I don't have to stream some weird link on my laptop,
right,
which I probably shouldn't be talking about on here. But but yeah, I mean, it's exciting, man. Look, the more you guys talk about it, the more I've been getting into it. So we'll see what happens. Do you think Chelsea is going to win the Premier League as a fan, or?
I mean, look, yeah, it's really hard for me to say. If I'm going to be objective, it's hard. It's hard for me to say. As a fan, yes, I think they're going to win. Their defense is second to none right now. They play a five at the back formation, so it's very hard to break through. They have three very good center backs, and they have the best defensive midfielder in the league with N'Golo Kante, who I thought should have won the Ballon d'Or, but he didn't. I mean, he won the player of the tournament for the Champions League. He won midfielder of the tournament for the Premier League. Like, he's just the best in the world at being a defensive midfielder. He's literally all over the field. You just can't. There's not, like, whenever you watch Chelsea play and they're defending, you'll see number 7 just flying around the field. He's all over the place. So yeah, I do. And the one thing they were really missing was a number 9 and a fantastic striker, and they got that in Romelu Lukaku. So yes, I do think Chelsea is going to be able to inch ahead of Liverpool and Manchester United as the season goes on. It's a very long season. They've only played 5 games so far, but they play 38. So it's a long marathon of a season, but I think Chelsea has the most consistency and the most depth in their squad. If guys get injured or whatever, has it. So, and I think they can compete for the Champions League title again too. So it'll be great to see what happens for sure.
Definitely. I'm definitely interested. Going to be checking out some more games, and we'll see. I also do like how teams get relegated. I feel like that's a cool little
no tanking
there.
No tanking.
Yeah.
Every game matters for those bottom teams, so it causes great drama and great entertainment for sure. I mean, the quality of the soccer isn't as good, obviously, as the Chelseas, the Uniteds, the Liverpools, Manchester Cities, but the passion is there, and that's what the heart is there, and that's what you really want to see.
Definitely. But yeah, from there, I guess we should try to get out of here. We've gone a little bit over an hour here, but I did want to mention the Chiefs and the Ravens are playing right now as we're recording this. Obviously, if you're watching with us live, but if you're listening on Spotify right now, we're sitting at Chiefs-Ravens 14-14 at the 2-minute warning. That's as
good game
as I got. So yeah, like you said, good game going here. You want to give a prediction so we can sound foolish tomorrow or whenever people listen to this?
I'm gonna say the Chiefs pull it out 27-20.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna say I'll give a different score though. Maybe 31-20. I think they put it on them in the second half. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I mean, from there, if you made it this far, thanks for listening. Obviously, you're a true sports nerd like us. We really appreciate the support. If you want to support us, definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Definitely like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Follow us on any of your podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That's the greatest thing you could do, probably. If you left us a good review, 5 stars, that would be awesome. So if you like the podcast, definitely help us out, help support, looking to grow more. And yeah, we're going to keep doing this every Sunday night, 8:30 here on YouTube. So come check us out, come vibe with us. Got anything else for us, Alex?
No, sir. Go Birds. Can't wait for next Monday night. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome. I was going to say something else, but I'm not going to say that on here. So it's going to be great.
Family-friendly show.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, have a good day, night, whenever you're listening to this, and just keep nerding it up.
Peace, everybody.